Now, using the power of your opponent, using the energy of opponent is the best thing to do because you don't get tired and you let him make his own mistakes and you use his mistakes against him. So, using the energy as I show you first is, for example, if he comes forward, I let him go forward and then I put my foot and he falls. We can do that even when we grab each other. For example, the middle position, mid-distance position. Usually when you hold each other, the one who walks has a little advantage because if I walk forward, I can knee my opponent. If I walk, I can knee him. Bim, bim, if I walk forward. But if I go backwards, if I knee him, I'm going to fall. So it's always a little bit advantageous to walk forward your opponent. At the same time, he can use your energy to drop you. So you have to choose, you have to know what you do and you have to be aware and control all the situation, okay? Because every time there is an advantage, there is of course a disadvantage somewhere because life is not so easy. So if I walk forward, bam, bam, it's good to knee, but also he can drop me. If he walk forward, I go a little bit on the side, he goes in this direction, okay? I just move a little bit on the side and make him go where he wants to go. He wants to go forward, okay, go forward. But there is my foot, so he's going to fall. So if my opponent really walks on me, avance sur moi, I can do it on the left, or I can do it on the right, in both ways. I just move a little bit, change the position of my body, he's going there, I move on the side, he's still going there, okay, but go alone. Voilà. Sometimes your opponent knows what you're going to do and is ready to resist. So, for example, if I'm holding my opponent and I pull him on the side, if he resists, he resists, I go directly on the other side. I pull him on the left, he resists, in half of a second, I turn away. I pull him on the right. So, I try to pull him here, if he doesn't resist, he's just going like this. But if he resists, I go on the other side, directly. So I use his own energy. You can do that while holding the arms. You can do that also while holding each other, or like this, or like this. As soon as we hold each other. So, for example, I want to pull him on the right. It goes on the right, but if I put my right knee out on the outside, if I put it on the right, it's gonna fall. So when you see me pulling him on the right, what he's gonna do is gonna resist because he doesn't want to fall. So when I see you resist, and then directly I change the direction. I pull him a little bit on the right, he resists, bam! I just need to remind that I need to have a knee on the outside. If I don't have a knee on the outside, it's just gonna walk. But if I have a knee on the outside, now he's gonna lose his balance. So when you're holding each other like this, for example, I try to pull him on the right, he resist, resist, and then up. Directly, I change the direction. If it doesn't work in one way, try the other way. And I'm sure you have plenty of examples. Another technique that can be done when we're very close to each other, like this. We start the technique by an equal position. One hand up, one hand down. This technique is you put the top of your fingers at the top of his head here, on the back. And you hold him tight against your shoulder and against my left shoulder. I pull him. And so now his head is blocked between my hand here and my shoulder here. I'm going to lift my shoulder and pull my head down. See, his head is going on the side. And then I keep turning, and he cannot resist because my body and my arm is stronger than his neck. So, start again, one hand up, one hand down. My fingers at the top of his head. I pull him towards my shoulder, lift my shoulder, and pull my hand down. And then see his head is completely turned, and I keep turning. And now he has to release me. because if he cannot resist a long time, you know, the neck is soft comparing to the chest. So that's a technique that you can use when you're very close to your opponent. You can also, during this technique, you can also use your cheek. Like this. I put my cheek on his face and I push with my head, like this. That's helpful. When you use your head, it's going to be more easy for you to do that, huh? Like this, and with my head, I go with it downstairs. That's a technique also that can be used when you're very close to your opponent. Also, when you grab your opponent by the waist, he cannot knee you, you can knee him. That's a good position. But if you want to drop him, just put one leg, the left one, or the right one, or the left one, either. So put your leg on the outside, the knees on the inside, and with your shoulder, you're going to drop him on the floor in diagonal. But he's more clever than that. When I start to do that, you know he's going to fall. So he's going to put his leg behind, or recule sa jambe. So he's going to put his leg behind, and directly I attack the other leg with my left leg. And I do it again. And he's more clever than that. He recule la jambe, and then I go for the third leg. Because he was not such clever. He did it twice, but he should have done it 3 times. So I grab him, one leg on the outside, with my shoulder I put him on the floor. He put his leg back because he knows he's going to fall. Then I attack the other leg. And we can do that 2-3 times. You only have to put your foot backwards. If you still do that, your opponent won't be able to drop you. This technique can be used in Muay Thai and also in sports like MMA. Maybe in Muay Thai, it depends. The referee will let you do it, or sometimes he won't let you do it because it's a little bit special. It's like this. We start at the mid position, mid distance. I release my left hand and I step forward with my left foot. It's a technique a little bit like judo. Huh? And then I go forward with my arm also. Then I'm going to make a rotation with my right leg behind me, like this. Then I grab my hand. That's a little bit a position like judo. In this position, I hurt his neck. He cannot do much stuff. And if I want, I can throw him on the floor. So, we're like this. I go forward, bam, and I hold him. Bam. Some people would say that in Muay Thai, this technique is forbidden, but you can still use it one time and play that you didn't know. You know, it happens. Everybody can make a mistake. If he wants to do this technique to me, first we start a normal position. When I see him, he comes forward. I put my head down, step a little bit on the outside, grab his body, lift him, and with my left knee, I just push his knee. So like this one more time. He tries to grab my head, put my head down, go behind him, lift him, and push his knee. And then he has to fall. One more time. Up. But now, if he already grabbed you and it's too late, you didn't have the time to take your head off, what can you do? Do it to me. Ready? Oh, in this situation, in this situation, my right arm is going up. My right leg is going just in front of his left leg. And then I make a circle with my right arm and push down his shoulder with my arm, like this, and lift my head. If I don't lift my head, he will be able to take his hand off. But if I lift my hand, he cannot take it off. And then I can grab my right hand and push him on the floor. Okay, one more time. He grabs my head. Bam. My right leg in front of his left leg. Make a circle with my right, and then I push downstairs his shoulder, and then we're in this situation. Now, how to make your opponent lose his balance during the PAM, during the clinch. We start, for example, in the middle position. So I can use my knees. I also can use my feet. I'm going to show you with the knees how to make him lose his balance. First of all, if his two legs are like this, are parallel, it's going to be a little bit harder for me. If his front leg was in front, mets ta jambe devant, it's going to be easier for me to drop him like this with the knee inside his knee, and I push his knee like this, bam. And at the same time I push his knee, I'm going to pull his head downstairs. So the two movements all together is bam. But if his legs are parallel, as he was at first, parallel, I just need to step forward a little bit, and then I grab his knee, the inside of his knee with my knee, and bam. And then I drop him. I can do that also from the outside with my right leg, and then push him on the floor with my left forearm and my right hand. I push him and I block him behind. So you can do it from the inside with the left knee, from the outside with the right knee, and push him in diagonal downstairs. You also can do it with your feet. For example, when your opponent is walking towards me, when he's walking, he's making one step after another, but before his foot touches the ground, his foot is in the air, and at this moment, there is no balance. You can just push his feet on the right or on the left, and he's going to fall. You need to be fast and very, very precise, because if his foot already touched the floor, then you cannot do it. T'avances, tu laisses ta jambe en l'air un peu, hop, bim. Laisse-la un peu en l'air. Vas-y, bim. Or on the right, with my right foot, or, vas-y, ouais, avance, avec la jambe gauche plutôt. Or on the left, with my left foot. Je recommence, pas la peine. Hein? Tu restes comme ça, en position avec la jambe en l'air, tant que je te balaye. So when your opponent is walking towards you and we're holding each other, he needs to make a step. And when I see him making a step, just before his feet touch the ground, I go or with my right foot or with my left foot. So if he's walking up, bam, or on the right, and my arms are pulling him on the other side. If my foot goes on the left, my arms will go on the right, the opposite. I can do that again from the inside, from the outside, or again from the inside. It works on both sides. As soon as his foot doesn't touch the ground, I can push him left or right, and then my arms do the rest of the job, putting him downstairs. When you're close to your opponent, as I told you before, you have to be really careful of the elbows, because one elbow can finish the fight very quickly. So how can we use elbow? If we're very close to each other like this, no, I won't be able to use my elbows because we're holding each other, we're too close. I can use the elbows where we're in the middle position, mid position. For example, this position. In this position, if I want to elbow him and I stay straight, he just lifts his elbow a little bit, bam, and I cannot touch him. Same for him. If he wants to elbow me, up. I just lift my elbow a little bit, and he cannot elbow me. He cannot elbow me also with his left arm because I'm holding his left arm. Okay, jambe parallèle. I'm holding his left arm. So if I want to elbow him, let me show you one technique. I release the left arm, the right hand, sorry. Put it on the inside, and then I push as far as possible. And in this position, boom, I go directly from here to his face, bam. And so that's very fast. You like this, bam. Let him think you only use the knees. So I just forget about the elbows. Put your hand, and then push a little bit, and then boom, and still hold his neck with your left hand and pull his neck towards the elbow. So you can elbow like this or like this, up to you. Another technique is also to push and stick his arm to his body. Put my right foot behind and bam! And that is more powerful because I put my right foot behind. So I push, stick his arm to his body, so he won't have the time to protect his face, and boom! In the face. Another way to use the elbows while you're making the palm, because if I stay straight, I cannot elbow him. I can just bend a little bit on the left. Let me show you in this position. I just bend on the left a little bit, put my elbow straight to the ceiling, and then as to droit, and then beam, direct. Because if I still straight, he's going to block with his elbows. But if I go on the side, he cannot block with his elbows because my shoulder is above his wrist, not on his forearm. And bam, and that I can elbow him. So just let him believe you only put the knees, and then go on the side and bam, okay? Like this. Oh, sorry. Okay, so it's very dangerous. Huh? You also can use the elbows where you're in a far position on the palm. So I'm like holding his arms. I just pull one of his arms down, right or left, and when I'm here, and then I just step a little bit forward, bam, and I elbow him. Or on the right, I pull his arm downstairs, and bam, and I step backwards. If I don't step backward, I cannot touch him because I'm far from him. So I pull one hand down, and then boom, right, or bam, left. You must be fast. Like this, bam, or bam. That's when you enter the palm, when you enter the clinch, when you're still far enough. Pull one hand down, boom, or bam, left or right. Now I'm going to show you how to defend against the knees. First of all, if he wants to knee me from a far distance, recule un peu. If we're going to the palm, we're going to the clinch, we're coming close to each other, we're going like this, especially with the left hand in front, not the two hands. If I go with the two hands, attrape avec les deux mains. If you go with the two hands, I put my two hands on the inside and then I grab him. So always with one hand and then you put the other hand. But either when you walk, your arms are a little bit far from your body. So there is a big chance your opponent is going to knee you for sure because you look like you're open. So most of the time, like that, when I enter in the palm, my opponent is going to knee me. Usually it's the left knee because the left knee goes direct in the liver or in the plexus. So if I go close to him, knee, boom. With this preparation, or even without, ou direct, sans me préparer, là, that hurts. So I know that. So when I'm going to close to him, he's going to knee me. First movement, the easiest movement. Bam. I just tap his knee from above on the floor like this, up, bam, and then I can catch him. Or again, bam, bam, I can elbow him. When I go close, in knee, bam, I push the knee down, and then I jump, and I put him an elbow from up. So I'm coming close to him, in knee, bam, bam, okay? Or easy, I block, and I catch him. When I catch him, he can still protect his stomach and his face with his elbows. Protège-toi avec tes coudes, les genoux. Là, bam. If he puts his elbows, bam. You know, that really hurts. Va essayer de mettre le coup de coude dans le genou. Bam, 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 bam. So, it's not always easy. Sometimes you don't know what to do. You just hold him, but he keeps resisting, and you cannot really knee him. So what you can do, for example, you can step a little bit on the side and bam, knee him in the ribs, on the left, bam, or on the right. Step a little bit, bam, and then horizontal knee. Bam, make a big circle so it has power, bam. Because here if I do that, he protects with his elbows, protège avec les coudes, bam, he protects with his elbows so I can get hurt, bam. but I go a little bit to the side, bam. You can also, in this position, just lift and go straight forward. He cannot elbow my knees because I go straight forward. Bam, bam, bam. Also, if I want to drop him, a simple stuff is to pull his neck. Make small movements, but quickly, like this. 1, 2, 3. So I make 3 steps backwards, and every time I make a step backward, I pull his neck on the floor. It's not, I don't use energy, I don't use my muscle just to put him down. No, I just make small movement. Bim, bim, bim. And so he doesn't know how to react, because if he resists, then after he said, I don't use power, so he stopped resisting, and then I use power again. That's why I can trick him. So 1, 2, and 3. That's how you can put him on the floor. Because otherwise, you may knee him, but you can hurt your knee if he puts his elbows. Also, when you're very close to your opponent, you have to be careful. I think the most powerful weapon in Muay Thai is the knee in the face. Even if you're not very good in sport in generally, it's very easy to hold someone's head, then pull it down, and just lift your knee. You don't need to be very stretched to do this movement. So, to avoid, first of all, you need to avoid getting caught. If I don't get caught, he won't take my head. But if he managed to grab my head, then elbows here, then bam, the knee in the face. You can do it like this, facing him. You also can do another way. For example, if you're a little bit closer, you put your hand here on the top of his face, of his head. Put his head down and bam. Okay? So bam. Even if he protects, protège-toi. Even if he protects, if for example his hand is protecting his nose, I go in the head. If he protects his nose or his chin, I go in the nose. If he protects his eyes, I go in the chin. So, or in the stomach, it's possible. He cannot protect all the parts of his face and his body with only one hand. And we're still quite close. We're in the mid position, like this, and then bam. That's a way how to put the knee. Also, when you come close to your opponent, for example, you can see that often. When you're very close to your opponent and the referee just stop the game for another, stop the match for a reason or another, the referee just pushes you, and the two fighters are like pushing towards the hand of the referee. So you know he's gonna come close to you, and it's at this time, boom, double knee. The first knee is a feint because your opponent is coming forward. You think you're gonna hit him with this knee, boom, and you come hit right under the chin. But you must be sure that your opponent is coming towards you, is walking towards you. And usually it happens when the referee stops and then the two fighters are coming again. So we're like this, boom. You lift your right knee and you jump, and when you're in the air, you have to make the inverse movement with the arms. When you lift your knee, your right arm goes down. And it's the inverse with the other leg. Up, boom. You have to have strength when you do this movement, because this movement will help you do the same movement with the legs. Bam! And if you ride your opponent right under the chin with this, it's a knockout for sure. Now, how to protect against the knee when you're in mid-distance position. The position when the hand is behind the neck, both of us, and the other hand control the left arm of the partner. In this position, as I told you, the left knee, he cannot knee me in the ribs because there is my arm and my elbow, and I also can grab him. Usually the left knee in this position is gonna knee me here, or near the belt, or on the belt. You can hit on the belt, and there is a bladder behind, and it really hurts, or the plexus, or the stomach, anywhere it hurts, or the liver, but my liver is protected by my elbow. So one technique, if he can knee me from back or from up and going forward. First we're going to see if he knees me from the back. Recule ta jambe gauche. Voilà. So, coup de genou, Bam, this is the first technique. You need to be fast because if you stay a long time, you can elbow me. So, bam, you need to be sure. So, mets moi genou. Bam, on repose, ouais, on recommence. Hop, ça. Bam, this is the first technique. Second technique, plus loin. Second technique, bam, I block with my knee. Okay, so when I see him, he's going backwards. Bam, I block him with my left leg. I put this part of my leg horizontal. I try to catch him with the knee or with the upper part of the shin. Again, bam. Another technique to avoid the knee. Pardon la gamme. Recule. Another technique again. Bam, is to hit inside with my knee. Diagonally. I lift direct in diagonal on my right. So again, bam, I hit him inside. And that hurts also. Again, bam. So you can do it again, both with the leg here horizontal, or you can do it again, bam, from in the inside again, in the inside. That's how you can block with the. You can also again, bam, put your elbow. It hurts also. Again, bam. I don't release this arm because if I release this arm, he's gonna elbow me with his left elbow. So when I see him again, bam, I protect with my elbow. Other technique. Encore. Other technique. Boom. I bend over so I don't get hurt. I absorb. Then I lift my left knee and I turn him on the right. You need to be soft to do this technique. If you're hard, the harder you are, more you're gonna feel pain. You have to be soft. When you receive a knee or a kick, you have to be soft. So, again, left knee. I lift my right knee and I pull him with both hands, right and left. Again, knee, up, bam. This technique can also be used if your opponent throw you a knee from upstairs, like this. Vas-y, lève, non, lève. Wow. This is the knee I was talking about. If he does that, you also can use the same technique. Again. If he uses this type of knee, you can also use this technique. Again, le même genou, tu lèves. Hop. My right hand goes on the side, push his knee on my left, and my left hand is gonna push his head on my right behind me, like I make like scissors. One hand on the left, my left hand on the right, like this. So again, knee up, like this. I can take it from under, put it on the side, and turn him. Or the technique I showed you before, you bend over and you throw him on the side. Now let me show you how to avoid getting kneed by the movement of your body. Always staying soft. So, same position, left hand behind the neck, right hand controlling the left arm of my opponent. If he knees me with the left knee, I go, I jump. Encore. Boom. It means it doesn't touch me because all my body is upstairs, so he cannot touch me. Again. If he hit me with the right knee, like on the side, vas-y, boom. I'm gonna go forward with my hip, forward and a little bit on my left. Again, I'm gonna hit him inside his leg. If I don't move, he's gonna hit me with his knee here. But I just keep moving a little bit forward, so I hit him with my hip inside his leg, and finally he gets hurt more than me. So, left, up, right, bam, left, right, bam. When you jump, left. When you jump, you have to bend over. Your body must be horizontal. Okay? Right, bam, left, right, bam, left. Okay? Now we're gonna see what you can do to avoid to getting kneed with the right knee of your opponent. As you remember, the left knee and the right knee are not used the same, because when you hold your partner like this, usually with your left arm, because your right arm needs to protect your liver, if you cannot hit on the side with the left, only in the front, but the right one, the right knee, you can use it in the ribs, because you're holding his arm, and his arm is holding your neck. He's holding your neck also. So with the right knee, I told you can push with your hip on the inside so you don't get hurt. You can also pull him a little bit with my left arm. Just a small movement like this, without power. Up, bam. Normal, knee. Bam. I pull him. I also can pull him in the other direction. That was done on my left. Now I'm going to pull him on my right. For that, I'm going to use my right hand, holding his forearm against my shoulder, and I make a rotation so he follows me. And with this hand, I'm going to throw him behind me. So right knee, I throw him on the right, and he falls. So when I was throwing him on the left, he didn't touch me, but he didn't fall. When I throw him on the right again, he falls, because his body is in total loss of balance. Also, what else can you use against the right knee? For example, I'm holding my opponent. I'm going to make him a right knee, a jumping right knee. It means I'm going to lift my right knee, jump, and while I'm in the air, I'm going to make a rotation, still holding him, and I use his body to have a good balance. So I lift my right knee, bam, and I made a rotation, and I come hit him in the ribs. Usually, he's going to do the same, because there is no much things to do in this position except using the knees. He cannot kick, he cannot punch, he can elbow. So if I throw a jumping knee, he will throw me also a jumping knee. So I'm waiting for him to do it, because he has to do it, because if he doesn't react after a knee, there is a problem. It means he doesn't want to win, or there's a problem, because usually you throw a knee, you receive one direct. So as I know that, bam, I throw a knee, and when I'm waiting for him to put the knee, bam, I drop him. Because when he's not touching the ground, there is no balance, he doesn't have contact with the ground. So with my left foot, I'm gonna push his left foot on the outside. So again, jumping knee as well. Bam. So that's very easy. You don't need to use power. You're just holding your partner or your opponent, and when you jump, boom, you make this small movement without any. You don't need to have power, because there is no need. So like bam, jumping knee, up, boom. You also can drop him in another way. This is a little bit more dangerous. Yeah. So I'm making the jumping knee, bam, à toi, bam. I'm gonna grab his leg with my right leg and pull him towards me and push him on the chest. So the first position was like this. When he's in the air, I release my hand and put my two hands on his chest, and then I'm gonna push him on the floor. Okay? So this right foot behind and my two hands here, and I push him. So I'm like, jumping knee. Again, jumping, bam, and then, bam. Okay? And this one is particularly dangerous, because your opponent falls from a high level, so he really gets hurt, and after he cannot breathe. Now I'm going to show you another technique to avoid getting hit by the right knee in the same position as before. So again, we hold each other, left hand, my right hand on his left arm. So he put me a right knee, and I lift my left knee and I block his leg. His leg is blocked, he cannot take his leg off. And at the same time, I put my left hand on his face and push him to the floor. And I keep my knee up. If my knee goes down, then he will manage to have his balance, a good balance. But that's why I keep my knee up. Again, I lift knee still up, and I push his face down. So his leg is here, his face is here, he needs to fall. Also, another technique to avoid getting hit with the right knee in the mid-distance position. So, elbows down, genou, tu mets genou, bim, I lift my left knee. Par de derrière, bim, and when it's coming back, when it's coming to hit me with the knee, I just, again, bim, block him in the inside. So usually he gets hurt again. Bim, tu me le fais? Bim, so I cannot hurt him because he's putting his knee, bim, again, bim, you can block with your knee also. Now when we're getting very close to each other, like this for example, really body next to the body, what can I do if you use the right knee? As I told before, jambe droite sur le côté, I can turn him. I also can do that. I can, with my armpit, I put pressure on his, not my armpit, I mean with the arm, I push on his shoulder, I push downstairs. So, vas-y, genou droit, mais, like this. Fais-le moi. Voilà, à toi. Oh, see, I just, when I do it, with his armpit, it's gonna push me downstairs. Like, again, je le fais. Bien, fais-le moi. See, just push him downstairs. Don't need to make a rotation or just up this movement. Go a little bit on the side, like this. Again, lift knee, up. Again, up. So you don't get kneed with this technique. Sometimes your opponent can block the clinch session or the palm while holding you like this with his shin. He put his shin in your belt, on your belt, and push your belt. And now he stops the palm. Usually when you're in this position, the referee comes and break the fight, separate, and then they come back together. So you can do that using your knee. Maybe you put like a left knee, and then you block him. So he cannot knee back. So you lift, bam, you throw your knee forward, and then you block him. But what happens if he wants to do it to me? So block me, block. So what can you do? First of all, I cannot move my legs. I cannot sweep him. I cannot move my legs because he's blocking my two legs here. So look what I can do. My right leg is going to go behind, up, and then now he cannot block my right leg, and then I hold him, and then I can drop him. So if he block me with his leg, again, up, one, I grab him, and then I drop him. I also can do that. In this position, if you block me, block, bam. I put my left hand, my left leg behind, my left hand on the top of his head, and with my left hand, I'm gonna hit him here, boom, in his face. Again, bam. I put my left leg behind, and there, bam. I pull his head down and lift my shin. Kick him directly in this part of the skull. Again, so if you block me, up, I can put my left leg or right leg, it depends. I do that with the left, and then boom. Or with the right, again, above his left leg, then I lift him and I drop him. That's two techniques you can use if your opponent blocks you with his shin. I want to thank you again. I want to thank everybody that follows me and every fan of dynamicstriking.com and Michael Zenga, who's a great guy. And I will try to make other vids. If you got some ideas, things you want to see, yeah, you can contact me or say to dynamicstriking.com, and I will be pleased to do them. Now, thank you. Thanks to my best student and partner today, Adele. Thank you so much. Yep. Thank you, everybody. Hope we see you soon. Thanks again. Bye-bye.